So I've got this object from the last tutorial, and I just want to discuss how to get some nicer sort of chamfered edges so we can get some highlights kicking off these corners and edges, which is going to really help with the illustration of the rendering. So let's have a look at that. So there's a very simple way of doing this straight off the bat. So we've got one turbo smooth here, and we have separate by smoothing groups on, and I'm going to simply add another turbo smoother modifier on top, and this time it's going to have separate by smoothing groups off. And I think you can already see what's happening. So it's, if I turn that guy off, if we just do this, we'll just get this kind of spongy shape, and it sort of preserved our original smoothing groups. But when I turn that guy on, as I up the number of iterations, it will harden those creases. We get quite a nice, very quick way of doing these nice chamfered edges here. But you can see it's peeling away at the bottom a bit, and I don't want that, and I can just simply add a supporting edge loop down at the bottom to fix that. So let's just quickly do that with the Swift Loop tool, and you can see as I drag that up and down, and maybe look at that, so you can see that's compressing our edges. So I can just stick it there, and that looks pretty good. So that's kind of a heavy mesh for the job. You can see it's pretty dense. So we can also look at a different way of doing this. If I drag that over there, we can use the open subdivision tool. So let's look at that. So I've already set this, so let's just turn that off. So you can see that it has, I've got only 3 iterations now, and I've already got a relatively nice edge smoothing compared to 4 iterations here. So this mesh is a bit lighter. If I turn on Isoline display, it's just a little bit lighter, so we've got half the number of polygons in this shape as we have in that shape. And there's maybe some areas I could tighten it up, just maybe here's a little too soft, but again I could just add an edge loop for that. Now the way it's working is using the crease weights on the edges, so let's turn that off and on. So if I select that edge, this is a hard edge, and I've set that to crease weight 2, and then this guy, that's a soft edge, and I've set it to crease weight of 0. So this is totally independent of smoothing groups, so I can select hard creases pretty much anywhere. So if I go into here, say I can select that guy and that guy, and if I show end results on, it will, as I whack the crease value up, you can see it sharpens up just those edges there like that. And then I kind of run out of subdivisions and it doesn't do anymore. But if I whacked up the subdivisions to say 5, which is pretty insanely dense, especially for a tiny prop like this, then you can see if we get some nice sharp edges, super sharp edges there. So get rid of that. Down to 3 is fine. Now if I turn everything off, you'll see the process for this. So I set that to 0, everything goes soft again, like that. So that's all kind of soft again, apart from where I've got my supporting loop here, which I guess I could delete, but let's just leave it on, otherwise faffing around with too many details. I think what I might do is just fix those smoothing groups here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Or controversially, let's just do it the opposite way. So that guy and that guy. And we make those the same smoothing group. 5 or 6. There we go. That's corner separated. Right. Yeah, that's better. So we need to extract our hard edges from our smoothing groups so we can crease them, and we do that very simply by going into edge mode, and we go into selection modifier up here and we select hard edges like that, and that highlights all our hard edges, and then we can assign a crease value of something like 1.5, I think is good. and then we go back into Open Subdivision and we have a nicely creased object. So I guess the last thing to do is just add some color separation. So let's take all that lot and assign it to ZID1, select all this stuff in the middle, assign it to ID2 like that by fixing the ZID spinner, and then I can grab my pre-prepared material, which is over here, which I've been using for all my bollards, and I can assign that to selection like that. Missed polygon. That guy. 2. There you go.